You're listening to Soap Dirt, the latest in television entertainment news.
Hey, Young and the Restless fans, I've got your weekly spoilers for September 15th through the 19th. We have got Jack issuing a very stern warning, and Phyllis is tattling on somebody. But the question is who? This is Belinda from Soap Dirt. We're going to get into all this. If you're not following us, please reach down, click that subscribe button. So on Monday, September 15th, we've got season 52, episode 240 of Y&R. Claire is telling Victoria about Kyle's $5 million contract he signed with Victor, and her mom defends him. Victoria gives Kyle credit and thinks that this proves his devotion to Claire, him taking this big risk. But at the same time, Victoria is not happy to hear that her dad was involved in this. And Claire wonders if Kyle is obsessed with her and jealous and just being just too much because of how he reacted to her being friends with Holden. And Claire says she never got crazy like that, even when Summer was around all the time and talking to Kyle and, being friendly and sometimes more than friendly. And Victoria advises Claire to give Kyle a chance, and she shocks Claire because she says Kyle told her he's never felt this way about anybody, not even Summer. So Victoria advises Claire to think very carefully and maybe give Kyle a chance. Meanwhile, the man in question runs into Nate over at Crimson Lights, and Kyle is worried that he's going to punch him in the face, but Nate says no, they are both Audra's victims. And then Nate says that Claire honestly is the real victim, and Kyle is asking him about Holden and says that Holden has glommed onto Claire, and Nate says he thinks Holden is very sketchy and still very much into Audra. So Kyle was talking about Audra causing issues for him and Claire, but he hopes they can get past it. And Nate says that people warned him about Audra and he should have listened, but now Nate says he is completely done with her for good. And that's when Victoria and Claire join them, and Nate takes off with Victoria. So Claire asks if Kyle was talking to Nate about Holden, and Kyle is deflecting. This is a touchy subject for her, and he knows that. Basically, Kyle just doesn't want Holden hurting Claire, but she says she can protect herself, and the person she's not sure she can trust is Kyle. So he's begging Claire to do a reset and let them start over as a couple. Michael talks with Phyllis and says he took a job with Cane, and she guesses that Michael will be Kane's fixer since he already has a lawyer, Amanda. So Michael talks about putting everything behind them about how mad Phyllis was when he was defending Sharon. And then Michael says that Lauren doesn't know he's working for Cane and that he's keeping it on the down low or whatever. And that's when Phyllis starts to smell a rat. Michael starts making excuses about protecting Lauren and plausible deniability, but Phyllis calls BS and tells Michael if he doesn't come clean, she's going to go to Cane and tell him that Michael cannot be trusted and is up to something shady. Meanwhile, Lily talks to Devon, and she's wondering if her kids will forgive Cane, and Devon wants to know if that video Cane made softened up the kids or if it softened up Lily, and she basically thinks that Cane has mishandled everything. So Lily thinks it might just be better if the kids cut Cane out of their lives permanently. And Devon says, been there, done that, did it with Tucker. And Lily does wonder if Devon might be encouraging her about Cane, but Devon's like, no, this is just a conversation. And Lily vows that she is done with her ex-husband. Amanda talks to Cane about him letting Billy have the AI program and whether that's dangerous. But Cane says that Billy only thinks he's controlling the program. It'll be Cane secretly controlling it to do what he wants. And then Cane asks Amanda if she'll he'll get close to Lily to advocate for him, and Amanda actually agrees to try. So she goes over and runs into Devon and Lily, and we've got Amanda and Devon snarking at each other until she asks to talk to Lily alone, and she actually asks Amanda if she still misses Devon, especially since Amanda had made a crack about Abby. So then Kane texts Billy to ask if they are still a go. On Tuesday, September 16th, it's season 52, episode 241 of Young and the Restless. Sally is not going to budge with Billy. Sally refuses to endorse anything that involves Billy working with Cane, and she really wants Billy to stay away from Cane. All of this has already screwed up AbbottCom. The funding's gone. There's no company for her to run, and Billy is just basically gambling with both their futures, and she's not having it. Sally goes over to talk to Diane, who asks Sally if Billy's all right, and Sally's like, no, Billy is not all right. He is making the biggest mistake of his life, and I tend to agree. And he's made some big ones. Somebody pushes Kyle to take the high road. Could be Claire, could be Nate, could be Holden or Audra. Chelsea is in a tough position because of Adam, and this most likely involves the Newmans' war with Billy, and maybe Newman Media published something else crappy about him. Wednesday, September 17th, season 52, episode 242 of Young and the Restless. Nikki gets a warning from Jack. So I think he may tell her that Victor is coming after Jack, coming after Jabot, coming after the family, and he just wants to let Nikki know that he's not going to take it. He will retaliate. If Victor wants war with the family, that's what he will get. Plus, Victor is multitasking, going up against multiple enemies at once, and Cane encourages Billy to patch things up with Jill, and Jill Abbott is in town soon. Cane also meets with Billy this week and asks him how long he's dreamed about taking down Victor, and Cane tells Billy, say yes, and let's start dismantling Newman Enterprises. On Thursday, September 18th, season 52, episode 243 of Young and the Restless, Mariah meets with Daniel behind Tessa's back, and she wants to know if Daniel did what she asked, and he goes, yes. Tessa doesn't know that I'm here. He didn't tell her. So Daniel and Mariah have a very tense talk, but in the end, it may be just her wanting to make sure that Tessa has a support network if Mariah is indeed going away like she talked about. Lily finds herself charmed by Cane, at least in a moment, but it may be a while before he gets much further than that. And Jack asks Victoria for help, and obviously this is something to do with her dad. On Friday, September 19th, it's season 52, episode 244 of Young and the Restless. Cane calls a meeting of all of his people. So he's got Phyllis, he's supposedly got Billy, supposedly has Michael, he's got Amanda. We'll see if Jill's still in town, and they have a little meeting of the minds. Lauren goes all out to impress Christine. Obviously, it's about the wedding plans, and Billy hits a little snag, a setback in his plan to get his hands on Chancellor.
Thank you for being a loyal listener. Follow us wherever you get your podcast, because you don't want to miss the next episode. Soap Dirt is on all the major podcast platforms, including Apple Podcast, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and more.